10,000 years of culture.
いらっしゃいませ。大阪にようこそ。
718 AD, the Japanese offer sushi for the first time. 1800 AD, the Japanese create modern sushi. 1967, Las Vegas, Nevada. Sushi is perfected.
Hi, I'm Gene Nakanishi, owner of Osaka Japanese Bistro. For the best authentic Japanese cuisine, any dish you find in Japan, you can find it at Osaka. We're located at 4205 West Sahara Avenue. Or visit our Henderson location, just past Horizon Ridge.
Find the cure for Geritol Radio right here in Las Vegas.
The Sex and Money Show takes on cutting-edge topics, has the most interesting guests, and pursues timely topics.
The Sex and Money Show, perfect for Las Vegas and the world.
Join Len Connell for The Sex and Money Show.
Every weekday at high noon.
The Sex and Money Show.
I was pop sometimes, see me.
It's 12 o'clock, Las Vegas. Time for Sex and Money with Len Connell, Legal Eagle Miller, and Dr. Maurice Gregory, Dr. G.
Good afternoon, Las Vegas. Big Magic Al Jensen coming to you from the Sex and Money Show today, Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Sitting in for Len Connell, who is apparently out doing some last-minute shopping for his sweethearts, looking for some flowers, for some candy, for some gifts, something like that. In studio with me today, Legal Eagle Miller. We have Miller in here doing some last-minute research on some legal cases that are coming down. Miller, how are you today?
Oh, I am absolutely fantastic, as I always am, but even more so, minute by minute, second by second, we discover more salacious and very, very maybe sometimes disturbing truths about cases that are in the mainstream media and how the media portrays and writes these articles that lead you to believe something that did not happen.
Wait a minute, you're suggesting that the media is twisting the facts?
I am not suggesting it. I am outright stating it.
Really?
And I will read something.
Well, I'm reading right here. It says, and you tell me how the media has twisted this particular story. It says that a sheriff in ice storm-stricken Georgia has canceled Valentine's Day and has told men they now have until Tuesday to buy romantic gifts. No, really. Sheriff Scott Berry of Oconee County, Georgia, took to Facebook to announce his decision after an ice storm slammed Georgia on Wednesday. He writes, men are exempt from having to run out and buy lottery scratchers and Hershey bars from the corner stores until Tuesday. It apparently angered a man who called the sheriff's office from a Michigan area code to protest the decision, saying snow up north isn't a big deal, but obviously down in Georgia, it is such a big deal. So if you're in Oconee County, Georgia, you have until Tuesday to make your Valentine happy. So, any twisting of the facts there? I mean, come on.
You know what? I like it. I like it. I've got, today is a busy day.
I don't know that a county sheriff has the right to do that.
I don't think he does, but I think it was a little media. I think it was a little media ploy there.
And it worked.
And it worked. He got national coverage. But
it's getting coverage in Vegas.
Exactly. I mean, today is a busy day. It's a Friday. It's not a weekend. I've got things going on. I've got plenty of business that I've got to handle. I cannot schedule my Friday around a commercial holiday, as I've mentioned to women time and time again. I have no problem with the dinner. I have no problem with making of the dinner, or a little candy, little flowers, or whatever. But frankly, let's celebrate it on a time when everybody's
when the courts
not
aren't
out.
Open.
Yes, when everybody's not out, I gotta wait in line. I gotta wait hours. I gotta spend extra money because it's a quote unquote special day.
Yeah.
For Forget about it. Let's just do something else. And and I practice what I preach. So
Bah
I'm sure
humbug,
our producer here, Tim, will agree to that statement
Bah
as
humbug.
witnessed.
So what's happening in the courts down in Florida? You've been anxiously
Wow.
watching The Wire on that?
I've been paying attention. As I promised last week, we're following two particular cases that are in the media, both coming out of Florida.
Both in Florida.
One like to be called the popcorn shooting.
And the other called
and the other, the loud music. The loud music shooting, one where the guy was allegedly threatened by a guy who threw popcorn or a cell phone or something at him, and he shot him in the movie theater.
Yeah, let's start with the popcorn story.
Let's start with that.
Popcorn movie theater story. What's happening in Florida?
Right now, a bail hearing came up last week, February 7th, for the retired Florida cop who shot a man for throwing popcorn.
So this guy's
throwing
retired.
popcorn.
How was he, like 72 or something like that?
I think he's like 71.
Okay.
I think he's 71 years old. He claimed the father of two, he shot the father of two, Chad Olson, in the movie theater on January 13th.
So he's in a theater watching porn and
no, actually the movie that they were watching was Last Survivor. Horrible pun.
Really?
But and that was a very interesting movie. I support our troops as I was 11 Bravo infantryman in the Army, so I know what they go through. I know, I don't know the detail of all of them because all different units do different things and different military occupational specialties do different things. But in this particular case in Tampa, the retired officer felt threatened, so he claims he felt threatened, and he shot a gentleman in the movie theater for throwing popcorn or for throwing possibly a cell phone at him, and he thought he felt threatened. Well, here's the thing. I have mentioned time and time again that I choose not to sway in one way or the other, in my personal opinion, on any kind of cases or anything in the media, because
Correct.
I don't believe the media should be reporting on criminal matters, especially prior to a selection of a jury.
But today we're going to make an exception.
Well, no, they're not at trial. They're at a bail hearing, which is just a hearing. He's been arrested. He's sitting waiting for trial.
Is he going to wait in jail or is he going to wait at home?
Well, he's waiting in jail right now, and
Right.
until you get released by a judge on bail, until a judge sets bail for you, whatever it might be, and normally there's usually no bail for murders when you get charged with murder, but the judges do have the discretion to say, okay, I'll set bail at whatever they want, and it's usually when it's murder, it's usually like $500,000, $1 million, or something like that.
Sure.
People put up their houses, their businesses, or whatever to the bail bondsman and get out pending the trial. But he's been given no bail thus yet, and the hearing that lasted 9 hours last week.
Wait, a bail hearing lasts
Bail
9
hearing.
hours?
Not all bail hearings. Most bail hearings are usually like 3, 4, 5 minute deals. You know,
in and out.
In and out. But in this particular case, it's lasting 9 hours because it's making media attention, and they want
Sure.
to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and make sure that nobody gets slammed for making a decision too hastily.
Sure.
Whether or not we consider shooting somebody in a movie theater a hasty decision. Again, I'm not gonna go on whether or not he's guilty or he's not guilty. But what I will say is this, and this is a prime example of why I do not believe media should be involved in these things prior to trial, because I say people can get convicted in the court of public opinion instead of a jury.
Sure.
On the rawstory.com has an article up. If you were to just Google, popcorn shooting in Florida, you'll see they have written a story, and in their story they write, I'm going to read straight from it. Reeves, which is the defendant, returned to his seat for his gun, shot Olson, then reportedly just sat in his seat as people scrambled to try and save the younger man's life. Now, there's surveillance video.
Oh, really?
This incident was caught on surveillance camera, and it's been made public.
So
now this is
about tainting a potential jury pool.
Well, but at least the video of it is what happened, but not how they wrote it. You see, if you look at the video, you can actually go to the Judge M. Joseph Miller II Facebook page. You can go to the Sex and Money Show Facebook page, or you can go to this website and see the video that's been posted in this case, with regard to this case, from the raw surveillance video. You will see in the beginning, and it happens really fast, at roughly around 1 minute or so, roughly around maybe 50 seconds or 40 seconds or so into the video of the movie Texting Killing, you will see a gentleman at the bottom right corner sitting in his seat. You will then see a gentleman in front of him standing up, you will see some pretty big object. Now, we don't know what it is. Maybe it's a large popcorn. I don't know. But what you do see is something being thrown at him, at the defendant.
Okay.
And you immediately see the defendant, his arm comes out, a shot is fired. Presumably that's when it occurred. He stays seated. He never stands up. He's never up. Okay? He's in his seat. The way they wrote the article, it makes you think that this altercation is taking place, a few seats down or a row across or something. They get in the altercation. Maybe the deceased, the victim, and I'm not going to call him the victim, but the deceased threw the popcorn at him, and they write it as though the defendant then goes back to his seat, retrieves a weapon, shoots him, then sits down. Now, what that says to the average person, and even me in my head when I first read it, I thought, well, wait a minute now. If it's all over with for the most part, and then you have to go somewhere to get your weapon,
Right.
Well, God, that to me is a major basis for intent, saying the threat was over, the guy wasn't chasing you, and you went to get a weapon, went and shot him, sat down. That's how I interpreted the reading of what this reporter wrote.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When I saw the video, I went, whoa, that's not at all what happened. He never left his seat. He was sitting in his seat. Something comes flying at him from the guy he'd been arguing with, apparently. And then he just shoots him. He never moves. He never goes anywhere. So that's one example of what I believe to be poor reporting, and something that sways public opinion. If you didn't have this video, you would probably be thinking differently just by reading this.
Hearing the
article.
accounts that have been written that paints a completely different picture.
Completely
than
different
the video.
picture. You can go to the Facebook page for the Sex and Money Show. You can go to the Facebook page for just type in Facebook Judge M. Joseph Miller II, and you'll see that video, and that article has been posted there as of now, as a matter of fact, to look at that, to see the comparison, and you will see it with that article with it. And you'll see, how could the reporter write that story and then attach the actual video that contradicts what they wrote?
Right.
Come on. So this is I don't know if I could say the word, but that's the cue to get ready for the dump button. But that is piss poor media right there.
Okay, you got to pass on that.
Okay, so I got to pass on it. There's a few P words that I can actually say without getting in trouble.
That's
and
right.
That's one of them. So that's something that, and I promised our listeners that I will be following up on. And as of now, more things keep coming out. And so before I said, you know what, I don't know what's going on in this case. There's these fine lines in what determines whether or not something is done with intent. Okay, because first degree murder requires that element, intent. And people who are always arguing self-defense, they don't necessarily intend for death to occur. They are doing something that may be irrational, but it's as emotional because they fear for bodily injury or harm to themselves, and so they react. And that's usually where you might get manslaughter. You might be charged with manslaughter, but oftentimes, of course, the DAs will overcharge you, I'd say, and with the hopes. Yeah, right? With the hopes. Now, I'm not here changing my opinion or making people think that, okay, now that I see that he actually did get hit with popcorn or whatever some item is, that in of itself is not just assault. That's a battery. You see, you don't have to touch someone to assault them. Okay, you just have to make them feel apprehensive. The guy that gets hit in the back of the head without knowing that somebody was behind him he can't claim that he was assaulted. He can claim that he was battered. Okay, you have to see something coming. You have to be apprehensive in order to be apprehensive of something happening, because that's the true definition of assault. You have to be apprehensive. Okay, and in order to be apprehensive, you have to see it coming or feel it coming. Okay, so he was clearly not only assaulted, but he was battered. Was it justifiable to return fire with a deadly weapon? Hey, again, we're still in Florida. This guy very well may get off on this, may be reduced. I can see how it could happen. There was actually an altercation that took place. So with that, when we come back, we'll discuss, of course, we'll discuss another Florida shooting.
All right. Well, we would like to hear from you. If you want to get in on the conversation, give us a call. 702-731-1230 or nationwide 866-820-5528. You're listening to the Legal Briefs edition of the Sex and Money Show. We'll be back right after these brief messages.
Do you know what Ganoderma is? Let's get you on a safe, effective, natural, integrated approach to weight control, pain management, and your best health. Maybe I can help. Call me, Dr. G, 702-822-1356. My office is located at 2020 Gold Ring, Suite 503, Las Vegas, Nevada, between Valley Hospital and University Medical Center, and start living.
I'm Manhattan Miller, and I'm what happens in Vegas. From Paris to London, New York to Las Vegas, whether I'm out on the town or at home with your significant other, two things are for sure. I'm old school Vegas, and I always drink Frankovich Manhattans, handcrafted in micro batches by Frankovich Distillers, Reno, Nevada. Enjoy Frankovich Manhattan cocktails responsibly. Available now at select Costco, Total Wine, and Walmart stores.
I'm a bad boy.
Good people get arrested.
That is true.
They took you to jail.
Now what do you do?
890-30 bail bonds will be there for you.
Call us at 702-648-2663. That's 648-BOND.
You've been a very bad girl.
At Your Service Cleaning Services is a family-owned business,
providing you the best in punctual, thorough, and respectful residential and commercial cleaning services.
Our staff is uniformed, licensed, and bonded. We are able to provide rush services, and we supply all cleaning materials and equipment.
Call 888-449-5841. That's 888-449-5841.
And now, your sexy traffic report on the Sex and Money Show.
All right, our traffic for today is brought to you by Osaka Japanese Bistro. We have an accident, Lamb Boulevard at Sahara. Accident, Lake Mead at Lamb. Road construction down to one lane, the I-15, both north and southbound. Between exit 64 and exit 75. Slow traffic around the Spaghetti Bowl on the 15 north and southbound. Slow traffic in Henderson, Lake Mead Drive eastbound between Water Street and Boulder Highway. All sorts of Henderson slow traffic on Lake Mead westbound between Warm Springs and Atlantic and Warm Springs and Center Street. This is your Sex and Money Show traffic brought to you by Osaka Japanese Bistros.
Hi, I'm Gene Nakanishi, owner of Osaka Japanese Bistro. For the best authentic Japanese cuisine, we are the first authentic Japanese bistro established in 1967.
Enjoy a fine evening of jazz at Osaka Japanese Bistro's Henderson location, featuring the Naked Fish Band, offering 3 fine dining experiences, choosing from the sushi bar, the teppanyaki grill, and traditional tatami rooms, all at the same location.
Any dish you find in Japan, you can find it at Osaka. We are located at 10920 Southeastern Avenue, just past Horizon Ridge. Or visit our original location on West Sahara next to the Statue of Liberty.
All right, we're back on the Sex and Money Show, Legal Briefs edition. Today, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2014, with me, Big Magic Al Jensen, sitting in for a scrambling Len Connell, who's out trying to find flowers and candy and goodies and all those kind of things for all of his sweethearts that I'm sure he's going to shower upon all of them with these gifts later today. In studio with me today, Legal Eagle Miller. How in the world are you today, Miller?
Hey, fantastic. I'm gonna, before I go into more of the legal news that we've seen across the country and primarily coming out of Florida, of course.
Right.
I wanted to touch on a little topic about our post office.
Okay, let's do that.
I mean, I was at the post office earlier today, and I thought I would get there. I thought they opened at 9. Now, apparently, I guess the actual post offices do open at 9, but this is one of those like kiosks.
One of those sublet places.
A sublet place. It's all post office, though. It's not, it's run by the post office, but when they set up shop in like some other business or something.
Right. A remote or satellite location.
Right, exactly. And I'm there at 9-something, 9:45, 9:30, and I was there, and it was this long line, and there was nobody there, and we're waiting. Turns out they didn't open until 10. So we had this long conversation with all the people that were waiting, and particularly Marissa over at the Lev Restaurant Group, which is a great company downtown Las Vegas, a local business. We were discussing how, why would they open at 10? Especially during the weekdays when the majority of the people was trying to get their mail out. They're trying to get it done before they get to the office at 9, or they're going to leave the office with a handful of mail, with stacks of mail that need to go out that day, and try and drop it off, when they leave at 5. But of course, they close at 5.
Sure.
So you would think, and we had talked about this off the air, Al, that they would get higher numbers, and they would, if they had some better customer service, if maybe they had some convenient hours that we could get there, because they could, people might not go to UPS and FedEx and all the others. We might actually use the United States Postal Service.
But where's the incentive? Where's the motivation? I challenge you to find any incentive or motivation for them to go out of their way to provide customer quote-unquote service.
Definitely. And apparently, obviously, they don't want to increase any revenue, even though they need to, with layoffs.
Well, no, they don't need to.
Well, they said that they had a lot of layoffs due to the fact that people weren't using the United States Postal Service as much as they used to.
Sure.
Now, you're using, first off, we do everything by email and PDF and things like that.
Right.
But the things that physically have to go out, we're using UPS, we're using FedEx, we're using DHL, we're using the ultimate amounts of different carriers that give us better customer service and ultimately guarantee more arrival times and dates and things like that for sometimes cheaper than the U.S. Postal Service.
Well, I don't know if it's cheaper. Usually it's more expensive.
You think?
Generally speaking.
But when I say cheaper, I think that for more guarantee of arrival and care in handling the package, I think if it's an extra $10 or whatever, that's worth it. I consider it cheaper.
Sure. If it's something that absolutely has to be there overnight,
yes.
What are you going to do? Call the United States Postal Service? Or you're going to call FedEx?
I'm calling FedEx or UPS or DHL or whomever. Know. Now I will say, going overseas, the U.S. Postal Service is usually the best.
Sure.
Because they have a bit of a more, when it comes to security and when it comes to things going through, that have to go through, obviously, what is it?
Like customs, right?
Yeah, when it goes through customs, the U.S. Postal Service has a little bit more pull.
They can get it, it gets through a lot quicker.
It gets through a lot quicker than necessarily with an independent company that's doing it. But nevertheless, so I thought I'd just mention that, and maybe somebody out there, maybe the U.S. Postal Commissioner or what are they? I don't know the title.
Postmaster General.
Postmaster General, yes,
Yeah.
Who's a member of the Army. I guess the Postmaster General will hear this somehow and think, that's maybe a good idea. Maybe, but he's a general, so he's not
Sure.
going to get any more ranked than that. So
Okay, now that since we're off topic, I have a topic I want to bring up to
Yes.
you and kind of get your input. Back at Christmas time, I had family in from out of state, and they had their kids and the in-laws, so we had a group of about 10 of us, and we decided that we wanted to go to a pizza place, which I'm not going to name the pizza place, but it's a small pizza place, independently owned and operated up in the north side of town, up in the Centennial Plaza area.
Okay.
And
how many of them are there?
There's lots of them.
Okay, just checking.
This is not identifying it in any way.
Okay.
But in any event, my wife does a lot of tutoring, and one of her tutoring clients gave her a gift certificate for $50 to this particular pizza place.
Okay.
We thought it would be nice to hold on to that gift certificate and use it when we had family come in from out of town. We could go out to the pizza place. You get a lot of pizza for $50.
Yes.
So we show up at the pizza place. We all come in. Everybody sits down. We decide what we want to eat. And I go up to the counter to order the pizza, and comes up with about $55 is the cost of the pizza. And I say, okay, here's my gift certificate for $50, and then I owe you $5 and some cents extra.
Okay.
And here's the cash. And the guy behind the counter looks at this and goes, no, I'm sorry. I cannot accept this gift certificate. I said, why not? It's the right place, isn't it? He goes, yes, but I just bought this pizza place 6 months ago. I just bought it in July, and this is dated like 10 months prior. And I didn't know that the previous owner had actually sold you this gift certificate, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to honor it.
Wow.
And let's just say a spirited discussion ensued, after which
no gunfire though, right?
No gunfire.
Okay, just check.
And no buttered popcorn, no salted buttered popcorn was thrown or anything like that. No, but a spirited discussion ensued, after which I and the balance of my party got up and walked out the door. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make certain that everybody in the city knows that you are not operating good faith, because when the person who purchased this gift certificate spent $50, they had every intention of making that available as a gift, to my wife. And now you're saying, we can't redeem that. That just didn't seem right.
Well, I'm glad you didn't name names.
Okay.
Okay, because not to be offensive, but to the layman's eye and ear, you're on the right track. However, here's the funny thing about that. When a business is sold, usually you try to put these little contingencies and clauses in the agreement when it's sold.
Sure.
And most people, like for example, if you sell a business, the first thing you check is see if there's any liens against the business.
Sure.
You don't want to.
This would have been considered a liability.
Right. Definitely a liability. The one thing is this: did that certificate say on the bottom of it, subject to, without notice, subject to cancellation or anything like that? Because oftentimes you'll see at the bottom of a lot of certificates, gift certificates, at the bottom, you'll see that, it says you have to, we can change it at any time. But when money has exchanged hands and it's got a value to it, it has to have an expiration date on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll either say expires on such and such a date. Now, in this case, it seems like it may have had an expiration date on it, which you were well within that expiration date. However, sometime prior to that, the business had been sold.
Right.
So it's a little tricky. Nevada has these different laws where anybody that takes, has like gift cards and things like that, they have to report it to the state so that the state knows that these balances are out there. You're taking on money, kind of like you're acting like a credit card company,
Sure.
Actually. Or a debit card
because
company.
you're collecting money without giving value.
Without giving anything.
Right.
And then with taking that value at some other time, maybe.
Exactly.
Well, in this circumstance, normally what happens if I go to purchase that business, for example, one of the things in the purchase agreement I'm going to look for is I'm going to make sure that in that agreement it says somewhere in there that I'm not going to be responsible for anything that's out there that you set up prior to me purchasing this business, such as selling a million certificates for $1 each, getting your $1 million, and then promptly selling the business so that you don't have to be held to it.
Right.
Now, depending on what agreement is out there, this guy has to either not know about the fact that he has to honor it, and he probably doesn't have to honor it. The previous owner, however, if that previous owner did not contact all of the people they had sold it to and refund their money, there's a problem. There could be a problem. Also, if he didn't notify the person that he sold the business to that was out there, it could be a material issue with the sale agreement. Meaning the new owner, if the new owner were to get sued, for example, by you.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm going to sue this guy for $50.
So you sue this guy, and maybe you find, maybe all of a sudden there's 1,000 people out there that gets up there, and they sue this guy for not honoring it. The first thing he's going to do is, in his defense, is he's going to also subpoena the previous owner and say, hey, you had a duty to notify me of any liens or encumbrances. This technically would be like an encumbrance.
Sure.
Because it's something owed to someone else for you. So there's a million ways that could go.
Sure, but my issue is that, the sign on the front of the pizza place, matched the name that was on the gift certificate, and it was kind of a rinky-dink thing. It was one of these, just a piece of paper. They had actually stamped their logo on this little, gift certificate thing that you can buy over at Office Max, Office Depot. So it was like a generic gift certificate. And I mean, the value, $50, was pretty substantial. This, was a gift, but money exchanged hands to get that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we walk in good faith, under the impression that same name on the door, same name above it, and we figured, hey, we've got $50 to spend here at this particular pizza place. So my beef is with whoever owns and operates that pizza place. I'm not going to be responsible for chasing down the guy who owned it, 6, 8, 10 months ago.
And as you should, because it would be a chain that would happen. That's definitely what you would do. You'd go after this guy, and then his defense would be, in his defense, he would have to argue why he's not honoring it. At which point would bring in the previous owner.
Sure.
Which would open up any kind of sale agreement.
But that would be between he and the person who sold it to him.
It would be. Yeah. He could lose that case. He could lose that case and have to pay out on it. And then he'd turn around and he'd sue the person that sold him the business.
Exactly.
For his losses or for his damages. And he could choose to sue them for his losses and damages and possibly make the sale agreement voidable and say, hey, you know what? Because I had to do this, I can't afford to run the business anymore. I don't want it. Give me my money back for buying the business from you.
Or he could have spent $10 out of his pocket for the cost it would have cost him to make $50 worth of pizza.
Which you think he would have done. A good business person would have done that.
And have good customer relations.
I would have done that.
Instead, we're talking about this guy being a jerk, on the radio.
I definitely would have. I would have, if someone had come to me with something like that, I would have ate it because that would have gotten me more business.
Exactly.
Because that person would have been like, well, I'm so glad you honored this, and you will remember it, and you would mention that.
Right.
And you might even, it would have been a total different scenario. As a matter of fact, you would have came on the air and named the business, and he would have gotten thousands of dollars of advertising just for you mentioning him doing a good deed. And we like to hear good things, which we often don't hear in the media.
That's right.
We don't hear enough good stuff.
Hey, we got to go to our halfway commercial break here. If you want to get into the conversation, give us a call at 731-1230 here in Las Vegas or 866-820-5528. You're listening to the Legal Briefs edition of the Sex and Money Show today, Friday, February 14th. We'll be back right after these brief messages.
Chronic pain sufferers. Tired of being enslaved to opiates? Tired of being hooked on pills? Break free. Call Dr. G, 702-822-1356. My office is located at 2020 Gold Ring, Suite 503, Las Vegas, Nevada, between Valley Hospital and University Medical Center. Stop counting pills and start counting days of relief.
Hey, what you doing?
I'm logging on to the Vegas AllNet Radio website to hear last week's episode of the Sex and Money Show.
Ooh, hear past episodes of the Sex and Money Show Mondays from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. to 11.
Wasn't last week's episode good?
It was so good.
The Sex and Money Show rebroadcast streaming on VegasAllNetRadio.com.
The Cool Trade, the next generation of automated stock trading. Cool Trade is a 100% point-and-click robotic trading system. Cool Trade levels the playing field and allows you to trade at home the same way as the traders at major financial institutions. But don't worry, our software is easy to learn and easy to use. No one can predict what stocks will do, but we do know that they'll go up and down. Cool Trade is designed to trade the market for you and has the ability to make profits either way. Whether you're new to online investing, an experienced investor, or an active trader, Cool Trade is all you need to succeed. It's time to regain confidence in the market and join the robotic trading revolution. Take action today.
Call M&A Legal Management at 888-449-5841 or visit us online at www.anybodytrade.com.
Cool Trader Pro and Cool Trade do not make, buy, sell, or hold recommendations. Unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. Cool Trader Pro and Cool Trade are software-related companies and are not licensed broker-dealers. Investing in the stock market can be considered high risk, and participants should consult with their financial advisors regarding risk and suitability.
Do you suffer from androgen deficiency? Some symptoms of androgen deficiency include reduced body and facial hair, loss of muscle mass, infertility, increased breast size, feeling irritable or depressed, poor concentration. Get tested for androgen deficiency. Call Dr. G, Dr. Maurice Gregory, at 702-822-1356 for a consultation. That's Dr. G at 822-1356, 822-1356.
Hey, what's the weather for the weekend gonna be? Will it be hot, cold, rain, snow?
And now, your sexy weather report on the Sex and Money Show.
All right, Las Vegas, this is exactly why we live in the Mojave Desert today. We're looking at 68 degrees right now, looking for a high of 76 degrees before the day is over. Absolutely no winds and no chance of precipitation. Overnight low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, high 76. Sunday, 75. Monday, 70. Tuesday, 69. And Wednesday, 66, with overnight lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Partly cloudy skies, light and variable winds, and virtually no chance of precipitation. That is your Sex and Money Show weather report, brought to you by Osaka Japanese Bistro.
Hi, I'm Gene Nakanishi, owner of Osaka Japanese Bistro. For the best authentic Japanese cuisine, we are the first authentic Japanese bistro established in 1967.
Enjoy a fine evening of jazz at Osaka Japanese Bistro's Henderson location, featuring the Naked Fish Band, offering 3 fine dining experiences, choosing from the sushi bar, the teppanyaki grill, and traditional tatami rooms, all at the same location.
Any dish you find in Japan, you can find it at Osaka. We are located at 10920 Southeastern Avenue, just past Horizon Ridge. Or visit our original location on West Sahara next to the Statue of Liberty.
All right, we're back on the Legal Briefs edition of the Sex and Money Show. Big Magic Al Jensen today sitting in for Len Connell, who's out hurriedly trying to find candy and flowers and all those things for his lovelies out there. In the studio with me today, legal eagle expert Miller. Miller, it's always great to be in here with you on a Friday.
Oh man, do we have any rap? I mean, do we have some posts on politics kind of bumping we got? Let's hear. I want to hear a little something. I'm in the mood.
You in the mood?
I'm in the mood for a little
some bumping and
Tim,
grinding?
we got a little thumping. We got anything that we can thump to up in here on the legal briefs?
Well, we're going to look for that.
We're going to find that. Let's see if we can find
something like that. Now, I want to get back to you because you promised we were going to talk about at least 2 cases, if not more, out of Florida. And the jury in the murder trial of Michael Dunn is in deliberations right now. Yes. And Michael Dunn, he is the middle-aged guy who shot and killed a black teenager in an argument over rap music, which was blaring from the youth's car.
Rap music, yes, blaring for and
how rap music. I mean, that's a contradiction in terms, as far as I'm concerned.
And I wasn't there, so I don't know. I don't know if it was old school R&B. I don't know if the woofers were just up really loud and they had the tweeters and all that stuff going. I don't know, but that's what this about. That's what this is about. The defendant, Michael Dunn,
47, white guy,
47-year-old white guy. Thanks for pointing that out. And you're not the first, so I'm not. You're just following suit with the media,
claiming self-defense.
CNN reports, and this is how I love how they can't just say the defendant, a man accused of killing a teen during an argument. It reads the jury weighing the fate of a white Florida man accused of killing a black teen during an argument over loud music.
And here's some of the loud music.
Hey.
Okay, I'm good with this.
I don't think it was this though. Some tells me it probably wasn't exactly.
It wasn't Fresh Prince.
Probably wasn't the Fresh Prince playing. I'm gonna guess it wasn't. But
maybe it is 50 Cent or something like that.
Here's the thing. So the jury resumed deliberations today, this morning, 6 o'clock for us on the West Coast, 9 a.m. for those in Florida or whatnot, and. I've just, I keep running across things, and like I said before, every minute, every time someone gets on the witness stand, you have an aha moment. You have a oh my gosh moment. Listen, go to your Facebook, type in Judge M. Joseph Miller II. It's posted. This case is posted on our Facebook page and the Sex and Money Facebook page. There's something that I'd like to point out, something that I would have said immediately. If I were the attorney handling the defense in this matter, and someone came into my office, or this case got to me somehow. Now, I'm not going to defend either side, but I really did. I'm not favoring this. This already had deliberations, so what I say is not going to weigh on the jury at any bit. Nevertheless, I said I called BS on this. I called BS on this thing the whole way through, but I only called BS on it after the jury had been selected and they were in trial. In this particular case, I don't understand. They put the defense put the fiancé of the defendant on the witness stand, as well as the defendant himself. It's very rare that defendants get on the witness stand. Attorneys don't like to put their clients on the witness stand, not because, it may seem like they're lying or that catches them up in a lie.
But then they're subject to cross-examination.
But then they're subject to cross-examination by opposing counsel, which is the prosecutor. But in this case, it's not Michael Dunn, who I'm going to, say anything about.
Okay, here's the music that he was playing. We have verified source
This is probably what
that it was the Fresh Prince who was being played at 114 decibels.
Right, that's probably
that irritated Michael Dunn to break out his gun, fired 10 rounds.
I thought it was 7. It was reported
fired
as 7.
10 rounds into an SUV carrying 4 teenagers.
So there's a couple of points on this. One thing, why would the defense put the fiance on the witness stand? 2, I would have immediately said to Michael Dunn, I would say, Michael Dunn, do you love your fiance? And he would have said yes. And I would have said to the fiance, do you love your fiance? And she would have said yes. And I would have said to Michael Dunn, I would say, well, you two need to go get married immediately, because the prosecution cannot compel the spouse to testify against the other spouse. In this case, they knew that the prosecutor was going to compel. They knew that the prosecutor was going to put his fiance on the stand. So they figured the best way to do it would call the fiance themselves. Kind of cushions the blow, right? Man, there couldn't even be a stuntman's cushion strong enough or cushy enough to cushion the blow that we saw when his fiance was on the witness stand. They asked questions like, "Oh, did the defendant ever say that he saw a weapon?" And she goes, "No, he didn't. He didn't. Did he ever mention it? No, not that. Did he tell you afterwards that he saw a weapon? No, he didn't." And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? This is the defense's witness. Why would you do that? So that's one thing. Okay, she's being honest, and it's great, and I can't possibly think that she would have any reason not to be honest, other than the fact that it's her fiance up for basically life.
Right.
So she has, she just comes across as the most credible witness I have seen in, I think, ever. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a witness come across as credible as this woman did. Not in favor of her fiance, the defendant, by the way. Also, there was some talk about whether or not a warning shot was fired. Now, in this case, also, there's surveillance of the incident, but it wasn't directly. It's just the audio of the gunshots that rang out. Now, it's illegal, number one, to discharge a firearm in the public. And in the state of Florida, it is illegal to actually shoot a warning shot. Now, here's how the layman and here's how the legal expert is going to look at this. The layman is going to say, well, you shoot the warning shot, right? Because you shoot the warning shot and hopefully it scares the person. They don't keep attacking you or something, and now you don't kill someone and you're safe, right? The law side of it is going to say, well, wait a minute. If you shoot a warning shot, you've got the wherewithal, and if something didn't happen, or if something did happen, that warning shot went up in the air or somewhere else, now you've got some time to think, now you've formed intent, and now you're shooting the guy with the other shots.
Right.
That's how the legal side would go. See, so it's kind of complicated. But in this circumstance, I listened to the audio.
Okay, well, listen, they're into their third day of deliberation now. So what does that mean? I mean, you can't really necessarily draw a conclusion, but inferences.
You can. Usually when it takes a jury such a long time to decide, they're weighing something very heavy. And I think if they were going to come back and say this guy had done it right off the bat, they would have come right back off the bat and said he's guilty of it. First day. The problem here is you've got a lot of people that don't want to appear as though they're being racist, probably, number one. Oh my God, I don't want to acquit this guy. But then also you've got those that say, well, I don't want to convict this guy should it seem as though he really was in threat of something. Now, I didn't find any threats personally. I didn't, from whatever was shown out there. I did listen to the audio. And the audio from I heard 7 shots. I didn't hear 10. I only heard 7. I listened to the audio. The audio rings out pop, 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 pop. It doesn't ring out pop, pause, and then the remaining shots. The pause would insinuate that was a warning shot. The defendant himself says he shot a warning shot. The audio contradicts that. I think because he's a civilian, he would like to say he shot a warning shot because that would make it seem as though, well, I tried my best to not harm him first, but the audio doesn't show that. As the legal part of it, it's better for him not to shot a warning shot. If I'm in fear of my life, I'm just gonna whip out. I'm gonna do what Mr. Popcorn Shooter did. I'm not going to wait. I am going to just bam and start blasting. Luckily, he only shot 1 shot, and that's good. the popcorn guy. He didn't overkill,
right.
okay? This guy shot 7 shots into the door of the car with these teens in it. Now, the other thing is his defense attorney competent? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. His defense attorney, Michael Dunn's defense attorney, says, my client did not wait to become that victim. My client did not wait to either get assaulted by a weapon or have someone potentially pull a trigger, he said. Unlike the Zimmerman case, police rushed to charge Dunn with murder, the defense attorney said. Here's the problem. In the statement that the defense attorney makes, even a layman says, wait a minute, if he didn't wait to become a victim and didn't want to wait to get assaulted, then how could it possibly be in self-defense? He hadn't been assaulted yet. Remember, the definition of assault doesn't mean he has to be touched. He could just be apprehensive. So not only was he not touched by anything, but he wasn't even apprehensive of anything. He didn't want to wait until he became apprehensive. He made a conscious decision to shoot before he was even in fear of anything. This is where you get the judge saying, you are guilty of murder, my friend.
Wow. We have to go to our final break on the Legal Briefs edition, the Sex and Money Show. Stick with us. We'll be back with more right after these brief messages.
I'm Manhattan Miller, and I'm what happens in Vegas. From Paris to London, New York to Las Vegas, whether I'm out on the town or at home with your significant other, 2 things are for sure. I'm old school Vegas, and I always drink Frankovich Manhattans, handcrafted in micro batches by Frankovich Distillers, Reno, Nevada. Enjoy Frankovich Manhattan cocktails responsibly. Available now at select Costco, Total Wine, and Walmart stores.
When faced with a legal matter, contact Legal Solutions to You. We are a multi-state network of the top attorneys available, specializing in a wide range of services, including
personal injury, immigration, bankruptcy, criminal matters, business matters, and many more.
Quality legal representation is essential. Our goal is to provide the best legal representation available.
Stop being a victim.
Call us toll-free 855-775-2928. That's 855-77-LAW-TO-YOU. Or visit us online at legalsolutions2you.com.
Howdy, I'm Dr. G. Ever hear anyone tell you to take care of yourself the safe and natural way with Dr. G's Healthy Pleasures product?
For the best in men's toys, women's toys, massage oils, and personal lubricants.
Healthy Pleasures puts a smile on our faces.
Let's put one on yours. Remember, good health is good sex. Join our circle of friends. Medicine Man at healthypleasures.com.
Julia Sarah Boutique for the best in upscale fashions at affordable prices. Choose from a wide selection of dresses, gowns, jackets, boots, shoes, and more. Ladies and gentlemen's fashions available. Whatever your personal style, Julia Sarah Boutique has everything you need to look your best. Call 888-449-5841 or like us on Facebook for special promotions and invitations.
Hi, I'm Noah, host of the Legal Brief segment of the Sex and Money Show, where we will discuss the law of the land in a sexy, in-your-face manner.
Controversy with a Y, and he doesn't pull any punches.
From high noon to 1 p.m. on the Sex and Money Show.
And now, your sexy traffic report on the Sex and Money Show.
All right, Las Vegas, we got troubles right here in Sin City. Tropicana Avenue, we have an accident just eastbound over the I-15. And we have construction on Tropicana at Las Vegas Boulevard. We have Spring Mountain Road is closed due to an accident. Spring Mountain Road at Decatur. And North Michael Way is closed due to construction just north of Vegas Drive. The Decatur Boulevard has another accident, Decatur at Lake Mead Boulevard, and an accident, Charleston Boulevard, just east of Fremont. That's your Sex and Money Show traffic report, brought to you by Osaka Japanese Bistro.
Hi, I'm Gene Nakanishi, owner of Osaka Japanese Bistro. For the best authentic Japanese cuisine, we are the first authentic Japanese bistro established in 1967.
Enjoy a fine evening of jazz at Osaka Japanese Bistro's Henderson location, featuring the Naked Fish Band, offering 3 fine dining experiences, choosing from the sushi bar, the teppanyaki grill, and traditional tatami rooms, all at the same location.
Any dish you find in Japan, you can find it at Osaka. We are located at 10920 Southeastern Avenue, just past Horizon Ridge. Or visit our original location on West Sahara next to the Statue of Liberty.
All right, we are back on the Friday edition of the Sex and Money Show Legal Briefs edition with me, Big Magic Al Jensen, sitting in for a last-minute running around Len Connell out there trying to find candy and champagne and flowers for all of his sweethearts around town. Joining me here in the studio today, Legal Eagle Miller. Miller, we've had a good time talking about Florida cases today.
Yes, Florida is just keeping my calendar packed. It's the jurisprudence and the shooting coming out of Florida is like the wild jurisprudence.
I don't understand what that is.
The jurisprudence over there, where their handling of legal matters.
Okay.
Seem to be at test. Definitely at test again. Florida just can't stay out of the media. So.
And you do know, don't you, that authorities in Florida say that Juan Carlos Chavez was pronounced dead at 8:17 Wednesday after a lethal injection at a Florida state prison.
Ooh.
They executed a man who was convicted of raping and killing a 9-year-old boy some 18 years ago. So Juan Carlos Chavez pronounced dead Wednesday evening after lethal injection.
And that was in Florida, not Texas.
That was in Stark, Florida.
Texas being the leading state. For,
yes, but this was Stark, Florida, for a case that was he was convicted 18 years ago.
Yes, and it took that long. But at least, there was some time to see if there was other evidence out there.
You got to go through all the appeals and things like that. So
apparently we didn't find any kind of DNA that found that he didn't commit any of the murders or crimes or whatnot.
Right.
So,
so there's another legal story out of Florida.
Yes, justice. So, I wanted to mention. I promised that I would mention, especially for Manhattan, Miller, which is me, and Martini J. It's Valentine's Day, and I did briefly comment on that. The Players Club tonight over at 65 South Stephanie in Henderson, 1 block south of the 215, will be having the No Good Men Show, anti-Valentine's Day show and party. At the Players Club, and if for those listeners that listen to
anti-Valentine's Day,
there seems to be this theme with anti-Valentine. Mine isn't a theme. Mine's I'm busy.
You're not terribly popular with the women, then, are you?
I'm telling you. I think they're all just trying to convince me that they're going to be able to change me. It's like if you go out and tell a woman you're gay or something, they try their best to convert you or something. But yes, Martini J from the Cravat Pack, my co-host on the Happy Hour on Tuesdays 7. We'll be there at the Players Club tonight, again, 65 South Stephanie. They have a pre-show at 8 o'clock p.m. and the live broadcast at 9 p.m. It's the anti-Valentine's Day party and show. And you can listen, of course, live, I guess, on VANR, that show.
Right.
And I'm going to try and make an appearance as Manhattan Miller out there tonight. I'll try, but who knows? I might get yanked or thrown into a noose by someone who's maybe very disappointed in the fact that I'm not doing anything for Valentine's Day.
Right.
I've got a calendar to keep. If it fell on a Saturday or Sunday, it'd be different.
Now, who's the company that makes the Manhattans that you enjoy?
That's Frankovich Distillers, and they're a Nevada company.
Really?
Frankovich Distillers are up in Reno, Nevada. And I just did a little thing over at Total Wine & More. You'll see the picture of me and one of the Frankovich reps on the Facebook page, on my Facebook page, M. Joseph Miller II and Judge M. Joseph Miller II, and also Sex and Money Show. So you'd see that. It's a fantastic cocktail, and it's just, I can't say anything bad about it. I drank the cocktail before they were sponsors of our show and before I was their spokesperson. And a little news, I have now gotten second billing right next to the most interesting man in the world, by the way.
Really?
The Dos
Right next to me,
guy.
huh?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
the Dos
Dos
Equis guy,
Equis
who, the most interesting man in the world. In the Las Vegas market, it seems on ESPN and Fox Sports or whatnot. I'm number 2 in ads for sponsorship of a liquor, which is Manhattan's. Next to so Manhattan Miller is right there.
Congratulations.
Thanks for stopping by.
Well, thanks for stopping by the Legal Briefs edition of the Sex and Money Show today. Myself, Big Magic Al Jensen, on behalf of Len Connell and Legal Briefs expert Miller, we thank you for stopping by today. If you missed any of today's show, check out Vegas All Night Radio tonight at 10 o'clock, where we will replay this show in its entirety. Come back and see us again next week, Monday through Friday, noon to 1, where we've got all sorts of fun things planned. Thanks again. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Say goodbye, Miller.
Keep your weapons holstered, gentlemen.